We see this look from time to time from the Knights. Third down, St. Clair deep drop back. He's going deep down the field. The pass is caught. Wide open 40, 30. It's Buck Studwell. 15, 10, 5 touchdown. New York. They're going to hand it off to H. Shaw. He got the first down. A championship is coming to New York.
23 seconds, 22 seconds. What are they going to do here? 4 yards from the end zone. Dunhill going to throw again. Dunhill out to Hollywood. BDG Hollywood touchdown! Oh my. The Atlanta Swarm. How about it? Your champions, Georgia. 27-10 over Sioux Falls. Your Atlanta Swarm are title winners.
To the right, that's Carr. 2 down from the end. Handoff, Sandlin. Boy, he almost got hit the backfield, and Sandlin breaks it through for a touchdown for Seattle. What a run from Sandlin. He was dead to rights in the backfield and made something out of nothing.
They're going to go 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore steps up, hit as he threw. Pass is intercepted at the 50 with room to return. It's Albert Begin again. 35-30. Albert Begin. 20, 10. Touchdown, Lone Star. Ivory Irvin not fast enough this time, and the Glory right back in it.
Second and 10 from the 38. Marconi back to pass against another blitz. Marconi's going to avoid a sack. Throw a ball deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a throw! What a throw! Touchdown! Minneapolis to Oberon Sabu. Oh my goodness! A slow motion replay here. You've got to be kidding me. SFL is going to bring out the trophy, and Minneapolis is going to get to celebrate for the fans that came down. Receivers, 3 to the right side. Tallahassee needs a stop. They haven't gotten one here in the third. And Cochran's go to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. And Alaska has 9 points here in the third quarter. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Alaska Storm. They are your Season 11 SFL champions.
How about EJ DeCue, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line? Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they fight him for a touchdown.
This Matt Wilson's pass is caught for a touchdown. What a throw to Dijon Swan. The Mexico City Aztecs, headlined by team owner Ramos Lin, gets their first SFL championship, a 38-24 victory over Chicago.
Tonight, Wigmore down 10 of 13, 76 yards, 14th pass of the day. Wigmore fires it outside, it's intercepted! John Barnhart, touchdown! Sioux Falls, he does it again for the Sparrows in the postseason!
Showing a blitz on the outside, it's Queen City. Everyone stays home. Darnell Black runs past everybody, picks up a block. Darnell Black in the open field. 40, 35, 30. Being chased by Shine. He won't catch him. And the Hyenas have cut it to 7.
Mama, there goes that man.
Stats all-star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
Jark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their 3rd straight title. Oh my goodness.
Well, McChesney gonna get a carry. Oh, there goes McChesney. One man to beat, he breaks it. Jaron McChesney down the sideline. Francis trying to catch him. Not today, young fella. Touchdown Denver, they're right back in it. Down to 15 seconds left. Zuli back to pass. He's going to Corky. It is caught. And touchdown, DC.
Greg Corky is
They gotta pull out something miraculous here.
DC can't let him get behind him. They got to keep everything in front of him here. This is the ball game. Daniel Garcia back to pass. He's going to throw it deep to the middle. The pass is caught, and the tackle is made. And the DC Dragons have won the championship by a miracle on Zach Zuli's throw to Greg Corky. And I let the fellas give me a breath.
It's the final week of season 20, and it's Corbin Cup time here in the Carolinas. And this edition could very well be the most impactful one yet. From North Carolina, we have the Carolina Skyhawks, who are trying to make the playoffs for the first time in 4.5 years. And from South Carolina, it's the visiting Charleston Predators, looking to spoil the Skyhawks' plans once again. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Tyler Fulk. Welcome to an energized David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium with SFL Commissioner Callan Irvine in production, Andy Hamilton and Tristan Hatley on stats. I am joined in the booth by the inaugural Matt Wilson Broadcaster of the Season Award winner and friend, Brett Solberg. Brett, Carolina must win. They know it. Their fans know it. And certainly, and last but not least, their hated rivals, Charleston, know it.
And it's the biggest game in Carolina season, but Charleston coming in. I've told people all through the week that I felt like this Charleston-Carolina game would be the biggest trap game of the season, because Charleston, coming off an upset victory over Arizona, now has fire in their eyes. They could potentially get their northern foes out of the playoffs here tonight.
And as Matt Wilson would say, paraphrasing him, there's only one way to find out, and that is on the field. The Corbin Cup in Raleigh, North Carolina. Here we go. On the return, here for Charleston, it's wide receiver Honest Adobe, taking it up the left-hand side down at the 26-yard line. That beautiful shot of downtown Raleigh is provided by Dags Drone Works, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. So here comes Kentez Johnson leading the offense at quarterback for Charleston, as they now at 3-8 out of the playoffs, looking to spoil Carolina's fun. He will hand it off to tailback Saren Storm for the first time last week and all season long. Broke 100 yards on the ground last week in the win over Arizona. And let's meet the rest of that Predator offense as they go back toward 2 yards on Storm's run. Also along Storm in the backfield is Nick Hoagland and fullback Terrell Sutherland. Wide receivers are Jay Hayden, Honest Adobe, and Davius Reed. Tight end is Brian Murphy, and then leading the line at center is St. Nebuchadnezzar. Swing pass this time here for Storm, heading upfield. He'll gain about 4 yards. That will quickly bring up third down here for Charleston.
And here comes the early offensive woes coming from Charleston here. You saw the 2-yard loss starting off with Saren Storm, who did break out last week with 103 yards on 18 carries. But they got to be weary because that defense of Carolina is deadly against the pass here.
Gun pass under pressure, and down goes Johnson. Nearly untouched was Phil Hall for the sack.
And Phil Hall has been the defensive stalwart, the leader of this Skyhawk squad, bringing in his 9.5 sack this season, forces Charleston into an early 3-and-out situation. And Carolina could strike first here at home if they can get good field position off this punt.
So the game starting right on cue for Carolina's defense. It's now time for the offense to take over as Harish Prasad starts the return. He gets up to the 42-yard line. And out comes Matt South, who is 3 touchdowns away from passing Jacques Luyendula for 22nd all-time.
And this is a team last week that had played a safe, comfortable game against Denver and got the job done. Only allowed 9 points against the Nightwings, and South didn't have to do much. He only threw for 147, but he stayed clean in the pocket.
Oh, interceptions a week ago. He'll hand up the middle, wide open room to run for the fullback, Hattori Hanzo. And Hanzo will get to about a gain of 5 yards to the 47. Let's meet the rest of Carolina's crew on offense. Ike McBride is the tailback. The aforementioned fullback is Hattori Hanzo. Wide receivers are Chase Earl, Harish Prasad, and Heath McDaniel Jr. 2 tight ends make up this wide receiving core, and that's Vince DeSantis and Xavier Solomon, the rookie. On the line, it's Chris Cross at left guard. And I formation handoff. Well-designed run here for Carolina. Ike McBride powers through for a first down as she crosses midfield.
Not only just power, just a deceptive bullet speed coming from McBride. I turned my head sideways for 1 second to check the stat board, and all of a sudden, I see McBride pass the first down marker. Just deceptive speed from McBride.
Down marker, flip back to 1. 4 wide receivers here for Matt South. 3 off to his right. Slant pattern over the middle, looking for one of them, and it bounces off the shoulder pads of the intended receiver. Incomplete. That one intended for Ash Ketchup. As we introduce you now to the Predator defense trying to prevent Carolina from reaching the playoffs. Thomas Matthews, Mar Rivers, Robert Cherry, and John Lawley are the defensive linemen. Kevin Brackett, Jack Brown, and Gino McFly are the linebackers. Cornerbacks are Mark Martin, no, not the NASCAR driver, Sam Blotner, and Tyson Thorne. Free safeties are Jacob Clear and Matt Ryan. Strong safety is John Stamango. 2nd and 10, South, out route, right side, caught by the tight end DeSantis, reaching for the sticks, and be knocked out of bounds just a half-yard shy at the 33.
And we've seen that a couple times this season with Carolina, utilizing the tight end as a nice little out route option, because it usually always opens up that field on the right side. The secondary usually is just never ready. So DeSantis has perfect time to catch that ball and keep running through. And now it's a 3rd and very manageable here.
Come out with 4 tight ends in a short yard situation. They send the blitz to Charleston, but it's a wide open man on the outside. Ike McBride, and McBride gets the first down to the 21-yard line.
And again, we talk about shadow realms coming from the running backs to the secondary core. Sam Blartner, you've got yourself the king suite of the shadow realm here tonight as he just gets demolished. Fear that Ike McBride coming in. First down, Carolina.
Ike McBride has touched the ball twice. That last reception going 12 yards. That run earlier on the drive, 11 yards. Off to a good start here at home. Pass, middle into coverage, and nearly taken away by Mark Martin.
And that one was a risky throw from South, but Carolina wants to strike oil quick against this Charleston team that likes to lull teams to sleep so they can get themselves, into their own advantage. You saw that against Arizona. That's what led Charleston to only allowing Arizona to score 13 points in their last game. Both these teams playing fantastic football coming in. 2 straight wins for both these teams, but one's got to win out here.
At South has thrown 4 straight times. He's 2 of 4 while throwing the ball on the drive. South now again, 5th straight dive, and he nearly threw another pick. Excellent coverage there on the outside again by Martin.
And here's what Charleston has improved on over the last couple weeks, and it's been their red zone defense. They haven't really, broken themselves to the point where opposing teams are scoring at will when they get in the red zone here. Granted, Carolina not quite in the red zone, but practically at it at the 20.5-yard line. Carolina looking to strike with 4 receivers here.
4 receivers and DBs up close and tight on the line of scrimmage.
All
Slants here for Carolina. South pumping once, now decides to throw into coverage. And again, it falls incomplete. Another incompletion, this time knocked away by Jacob Clear. And Carolina will have to settle for a Malone Brown field goal.
And this time it was Matt South to blame on that pass. He threw that way too late. As the slants happen, sometimes there is that short pocket window where 2 or 3 of your receivers are going to get open. But South threw it too late as the secondary members started to close in on that slant pattern. And now we're going to see Malone Brown kick it from, pretty much chip shot range for him.
37.5 yards from the right hash. Snap is good. Spot is good. Kick is good. 3-0. Carolina open the scoring and take the opening lead. It's 3-0 here in Raleigh. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. Round kicks us up again here to get us back underway. Here comes Adobe on return. Adobe only gets up to the 22-yard line As we head quickly now to SFL headquarters with the game going on between Minnesota and Sioux Falls. How are we doing tonight, Cam?
Thank you, Tyler. Jason Williams has 6 touchdowns in his last 5 quarters. Reno's got 2 picks. They just scored again. That's Jason Williams again. 20-0, Sioux Falls in the second.
Wow, and Minnesota need that game to go into the 3rd spot in playoff seeding. Otherwise, they may have to play in the wild card round. Run up the middle from Storm, nothing doing. Taken down at the line of scrimmage. Actually, a loss of 1 from DJ Majesty.
You know, going back to that fact you talked about Minnesota here, we could be seeing potentially a matchup between Minnesota and Carolina. These 2 teams are playing right now. How crazy would that be?
Well, Minnesota has their future decided. Carolina needs a lot of help, and they'll need some really good defense like that to keep Storm at bay. As coming off the end was Mojo McLean. So, 2nd round, 34th overall pick. Comes up with the tackle behind the line.
And that's been the struggle all season here for Charleston, is that O-line protection to give Storm the amount of space to run down the field. It's just not happening so far in this first quarter.
Lost a yard on 1st down, lost 2 on 2nd. They lose 3 here on 3rd. Stepping up as Johnson's over the middle. It is picked off! 50-50 ball, and it finds Lincoln Kingseed, the strong safety.
Man, and that, like you said, 50-50 ball, and I thought Kentez was going to throw a picture-perfect pass to his receiver, but it just falls into the hands of the clashing defender in Lincoln Kingseed. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Jay Hayden, no catch for you, and Carolina coming off hot in this first quarter. Good field position after that interception.
39-yard line of Charleston is where they start their 2nd drive. Their first drive was a 9-play, 37-year-old drive, which culminated in the Malone Brown 37-yard field goal. They come out here in a power I, but they will pass again. Swing pass right side. There goes McBride, and she will get corralled at the 32-yard line and no further.
Yeah, and they're really starting to utilize McBride early here, especially through the air. Not a lot of touches on the ground yet, but as long as McBride stays the dominant figure that she has been in this first quarter, why not just keep feeding her the ball?
2nd and 3 now. Here for Carolina, 2 set backfield. They go again with McBride.
Oh, good night.
She is quickly inside the 10 and finally wrapped up at the 30-yard line. 1st and goal, Skyhawks.
And that is a bad omen for this Predator defense. If you're allowing Ike McBride just to run up the gut so quickly, get easy first downs like that, and not get touched for 20 yards, you've got to fear the schmear in Ike McBride. It's 1st and goal here for Carolina, and they're looking to make Charleston pay.
What a run from McBride. Good blocking from Hanzo. As now it's 1st and goal from the 3. 2 wideouts right, split backfield behind South. Hand up Hanzo. The fullback goes nowhere. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Stamango and company.
And this is what Charleston loves to do here in these goal line situations, is really stack the box as much as possible. Get 6, 7, 8 players in that area. See it again here. You've already got 7 set up, with a safety being the 8th in the box. That's a huge presence on defense.
2nd and goal. South having to backpedal, but can't backpedal far enough. Down he goes. A loss of 4 on the sack. Jack Brown alongside.
It's Kevin Brackett.
Outside linebacker Kevin Brackett.
And how, again, look at the presence that Charleston showed on that 2nd down, and no fear. That was actually 9 people in the box, and Brackett gets to the sack. That is just a daunting task for any offensive line.
They sent the house, as they would say. 3rd and goal. Shotgun look here for South. He's going to look to pass, looking near side. Caught over the outstretched hand of the defender. They get to the 1-yard line. Chase Earl cannot stay inbounds long enough to turn upfield. It'll be 4th and goal from the 1.
Now decision time here for Carolina. Are you going to go for it on 4th down and kind of, make a statement to start things off? Odds are it's going to be a field goal, and we see Malone Brown out for what's practically going to be like a 2.5-yard field goal, it feels like, for him. But nonetheless, again, great job from Charleston's goal line defense to prevent a touchdown.
Shorter than an extra point. Kick is up, and it is good from 17 officially, and Carolina double their tally. It is now 6-0 Carolina. The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th through the 30th for season 21's kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the Convention Alerts channel in the SFL Discord server. Rooms are going fast, and some have already sold out. Reserve your special group rate today, and we'll see you there. Here comes Adobe, third return for Honest, and he will get one better than his second return up to the 23-yard line. And let's introduce you now to the Carolina defense. Ryan Ray, Phil Hall, DJ Majesty is one TFL now away from 16th all-time. That will pass former Carolinian Clint Hendershot alongside Christopher Colon. That's your defensive lineman. Ron Prasad, Danny Stinson, and Mojo McLean are the linebackers, with Davidson Joseph, Skippy Curtis, and Tristan Hatley at corner. Monte Wyatt, Ibari Aman England, and Lincoln Kigseed are the safeties, and that's the defensive lineup first. Carolina, and they continue to have fun here at home. The ball pops free. Danny Stinson falls on it.
That's bad to worse for Charleston. Not even out the gates here. And all of a sudden, Davidson Joseph comes in, breaks free the football from Sarenstorm on the swing pass, and in comes Danny Stinson off the right side, and boom, you thought the 39-yard line was a good field position start after an interception. How about the 26 after a fumble? Carolina firing on all engines here.
Javon Prasad was the one who forced the fumble. Stinson picks it up, and again for the second straight drive, Carolina start on Charleston's side of the 50. It's coming past middle, and a little bit held up. Over the middle of that play was the fullback Hanzo on the fullback go route. No flag.
That's an interesting call there. That's probably one of the most clear pass interference calls that I've seen in my broadcasting career. But no, R62 says, you know what? I'm going to keep my dirty yellow towel in my pocket for now.
They will say the linebacker was attempting a play at the ball, so no flag. 4 wide receivers now here for South as he sits alone in the gun. 4-man rush. He fires off his back foot, and the inaccurate throw for South falls incomplete. And now it's 3rd and 10. Will Carolina squander yet another drive in plus territory?
And right now, Matt South just hasn't been himself in this first quarter. He's dropped back 11 times, and he's only had 4 completions and has been sacked once already. He needs to wake up here. This is week 12. Your season is on the line here. You can't be settling for field goals.
His next pass will be his 11th, which will be this one. He's completed 4 of them, 40%. Here through the first quarter. Another 4-wide set, looking to throw, stepping up, firing middle, into coverage, incomplete, and a yes. They will squander it. Stamango in on coverage, and Carolina go 3 and out after the fumble.
It's just crazy seeing Matt South, after such a clean, efficient, problem-free game for him, and he's coming in with a little bit of a dud to start this first quarter. That's not what Carolina needs. They can't be, pulling an Otis Boudreau and just, kick field goals for the whole game. Charleston will eventually score, and they might be scoring touchdowns instead of field goals.
I mean, partner, that worked out for Louisiana a time or two as the snap is low and Malone Brown's kick is up and good from 42 has launched the game. And so he's been 3 of 3. He's been perfect. Don't discredit Malone Brown.
No, I can't be discrediting Malone Brown here. The hunk of stuff in Carolina, he just continues showing teams that, even the biggest of men can kick field goals from, any range, and he's already 3 for 3 here in this first quarter. You know what? He's on pace for 12 for 12 if he continues this pace.
Oh, Brown now will get us going once more. His 4th kickoff of the ball game. Here comes Adobe from just outside his own end zone, looking left side, trying to stretch the field, but it is no good as he gets up to the 23-yard line. And how can Charleston maybe make heads or tails of this drive? It's not been the smoothest start for him.
No, and it hasn't. It's been basically all of Carolina's defense just swarming in on any opportunity. We've seen an interception, and we've seen a fumble recovery from this Carolina defense. What else can they bring to the table?
It's only the 9th play of Charleston's A compared to 19 plays here for Carolina. And that's a good one. That's the first down here for Charleston, as that one is going to connect with Davius Reed.
Yeah, and Carolina's had such a great defensive jolt in the last couple weeks. You have to think that, you know, Kentez might be suffering a little bit here, but he finally gets himself a nice throw of the football here. Nice open space for Davius Reed as well. And that's a quick first down for Charleston, who desperately needed that one.
First down on 14 yards for Mr. Reed, as outcome into the gun once again goes Johnson. Sidecar left is Storm. Excuse me, that's Holtman, and down goes quarterback Phil Hall again. Second sack of the game.
Yeah, and this is a Carolina team that limited rookie Gene Struthers to 142 in the air. And, you know, it led to, you know, a lot of second guessing from Struthers last week. And now Kentez is second guessing himself here, getting sacked again by Big Phil Hall.
A loss of 8 on Phil Hall's sack. Now Johnson in the gun. Bump coverage. Has to get rid of it and does. What a good chunk play. 14 more yards here for Charleston, as Kentez Johnson will hook up over the middle to his tight end, Brian Murphy.
Yeah, and again, the unsuspecting fourth option on the all slants route is always going to be that tight end, and Murphy just gets himself a wide open space. The safety has to come all the way down to, you know, try to be that second person to get coverage, try to deflect that pass, and is always too late in a scenario like this. That is huge for Charleston. Now makes it a third and very manageable.
3 wideouts, 1 tight on the line. Johnson to throw on third down. Quick hitter left side. That one turning upfield. First down on Adobe.
And this might be something that Charleston just needs to do here. Just, you know, dink and dunk themselves a little bit more forward, tire out this stout Carolina defense, and wait until they, you know, show some holes in that area and then exploit them. That's what Charleston likes to do.
I formation here for Charleston on first down. Handoff, Storm, middle, drag down by his feet after picking up about 3 yards.
Yeah, and this is going to be a struggle for, you know, Saren Storm and Hoagland and Sutherland all game. That running game is, you know, it's been such a big part of Carolina's defense. They, you know, anytime you limit teams to under 100 yards in the SFL, you call that a successful defensive campaign.
Charleston will come out with a familiar 4-wide set. Carolina will counter similarly with a bump coverage.
Watch out.
Charleston, middle, nearly picked off. Good coverage from the middle linebacker, Danny Stinson.
Yeah, and that's Johnson's, I would say, second mistake in this game after throwing that interception. You had Jay Hayden going deep, and he was going to be wide open on that far left side. He decides to check down instead, and it was almost picked off. And now you're in a 3rd and 7 situation. You've got to convert another third down here.
From Carolina's 49-yard line, 3 wideouts here for Kentez. 2-step drop, looking near side, caught again. Turning upfield is Adobe, but this time cannot get the first down. Tristan Hatley pulling double duty at cornerback 2, and in our stats truck makes the play.
Now, there wasn't enough space for Adobe to get that first down, no matter how hard he could try. Tristan Hatley has the speed to close down any offensive player to prevent those first downs. And look at this. Charleston, they've got a little bit of guts here, showing 4th and inches.
We'll try and potentially go for it. Offset eye. They do hike it. Looking for the screenplay near
Space.
side. That's
Oh, no!
Can't get upfield and walks out of bounds. It's a turnover on downs.
Way too late of a pass, Kentez. You've got to give Saren Storm the space to turn his body to get to the first down marker, and that's just too late of a pass. But you can also give a little bit of that discredit to Storm as well. Didn't settle himself well enough after the catch and just kept running to the sidelines. That is just a 2-part mistake from Charleston, and again, a turnover, this time on downs.
And so their horrid day continues on their longest drive. They cannot convert on 4th down. Carolina, deep shot, and there's the deep
my
pass.
goodness.
Right on cue. Sam Blutner picks off Matt South.
And surely, for Charleston, this has to be the wake-up call that the offense needs to bring. This defense has held Carolina pushing bending this defense, but not breaking them. And now, first play of this Carolina drive, Splotner grabs the interception. You've got another chance, Charleston. Capitalize on it.
4 drives, punt, interception, fumble, turnover on downs. Needs to change here. 3 wide receivers. Kent is going to look to throw left side swing pass. There goes Hoagland. Nick Hoagland, his first touch of the ball game, goes for 4 yards.
And Hoagland's your bruising type, so he should be the guy maybe to go right up the gut and get yourself 5 yards out of him. But they decide to go a swing option, see if they can get that Carolina defense second guessing themselves. But at least they got to him a little bit here, and we're gonna end the quarter on a 4-yard gain from Hoagland.
It brings us to the end of quarter number 1. Quarter 2 coming your way from David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium here in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's the Corbin Cup. It's the final week of season 20. Let's go. 3 left to go. Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg here on the call here from Raleigh, North Carolina. Glad to have you with us here for week 14 of the SFL regular season. Passing, Johnson, middle, somehow caught it over the middle. First down here for Charleston as Davius Reed comes up with another catch.
Yeah, and that middle of the field was very clogged up by that Carolina defense. They did a great job in trying to, tighten all the spots that Johnson could throw down the middle, but that is just a picture-perfect pass to Davius Reed on that first down.
Offset eye behind Johnson. They try that swing pass that didn't work on 4th down. It works here on 1st down. That will pick up 6.
Yeah, and you know what? Kentez has played a pretty good game, so far through this quarter and a minute here. Take away the interception, he's 10 of 11. So he's been pretty accurate so far. It just hasn't resulted in any points yet.
Get 10 of 12 as their numbers get updated thanks to Andy and Tristan and Stats. Johnson looking to pass, nearly taken away.
Oh, no.
Yes, it is taken away. Monte Wyatt picks up Kentez Johnson, and now the turnover differential is right back in Carolina's favor.
And that is the guy you do not want to throw the football at. Monte Wyatt now gets his 10th interception this season. He is just 2 away from the league leader right now as he is trying to get himself a bid for Defensive Player of the Year. He's got himself a pick 6. He's got himself close to 80 tackles. He's definitely in this conversation where I would say this award ceremony is going to be the most wide open field we've ever had.
Monte Wyatt now, for the first time in his career, with back-to-back seasons with 10 or more interceptions. Out comes the offense. South trying to shake off the interception. He'll pass it near side. Good twirling catch from Harish Prasad. They will rule him out of bounds, I think, partner. Interesting call.
Yeah, another interesting call here. It might be an issue of perhaps he didn't have a proper football catch, which resulted in him going out of bounds. Carolina's not going to challenge this, and they're going to settle for 2nd and 10 here.
Only, as you saw there, 36 passing yards. Matt South, or 13. Flat pattern, pass middle. There's the completion for Matt South. It's been so many passes since he's had a completion. That one finds the tight end Vince DeSantis and moves the chains.
Yeah, and really the only benefactors to this offense so far in the passing game has been 3 people. Ike McBride on the swing passes. Chase Earl had the 1 catch that was close to the end zone. But Vince DeSantis, both of his catches has resulted in 1st down so far. He has been the main factor in this Carolina passing offense, which hasn't been much.
It made 5 straight incompletions before South was able to come up with another reception. Looking to pass this time, little dink off left side. Here goes McBride. McBride picks up 5 to the 40.
Yeah, a little bit of indecision there from McBride, seeing that maybe there might have been space a little bit, trying to cut inside, didn't see that would happen, tries to cut back outside, but goes right into defenders. You have to wonder if maybe she stayed to cut outside, maybe would have gotten the 1st down, but they will take 5 here on this first.
3 wide here for South. Nickel look out at Charleston's defense. Running play. Mill here for McBride, and McBride wasn't touched until she was already at the line to gain. 1st down, Carolina.
And this will probably be the key to Carolina's offense here, is just feed the ball to Ike, get herself a bunch of touches in this game. I wouldn't be too surprised if they shift mentalities here and just keep feeding the ball to Ike, maybe get herself to 30 carries in this game.
Wideouts near side, 2 backs in the backfield. Here for South. They're on first down. 5-step drop. Charleston sends 6. Pass left side for Hanzo. Hanzo tried to lower the shoulder, but he gets eaten up alive by Mark Martin.
Yeah, there was no chance for Hanzo going forward. Is a little too early on his trucking attempt there. Just, a little bit of depth perception issues for him, and just boom, just like a NASCAR, Mark Martin comes in and demolishes the competition.
Besides the interception on the drive ago, every single drive has gone 4 or more plays, courtesy of Andrew Hamilton. Now here comes Hanzo. Here comes Hanzo to the 17-yard line. Good little scamper from the fullback.
And that's what you need to use Hattori Hanzo for, is going to be those runs up the gut. He's got the power. He's got enough speed. He has the field awareness to get himself extra yards. And there you see it, 17 yards, cuts the field in half for this Carolina team. And again, in the red zone is 4th time the charm for this Carolina offense.
Those runs up the gut have been working extremely well, and they'll try again. This time with McBride, and McBride only gets 2. Quick update from the Sioux Falls, Minnesota game. That game is now at halftime. Sioux Falls 21, Minnesota 3.
Yeah, and Minnesota needs to wake up here. You've got a chance to have a bye into the playoffs, rest your players, and go into this quarterfinal matchup. And you can't settle for being, a top wildcard team.
Drop South, hit as he throws. Incomplete. Excellent pressure applied by big number 69, John Lally.
Yeah, and this is what, again, this has been Charleston's MO so far in this game, is whenever Carolina's in a position to get themselves a touchdown in a red zone area, Charleston has just stepped up, been on the spot, and forced Malone Brown to kick field goals. And here we are again, another 3rd down in the red zone. Can Carolina capitalize?
15 haven't had a touchdown in this area all game. That change here. 4-man rush, stepping up as South avoids one, can't avoid the second. Down he goes, it's Lally again.
And this time it isn't the help of the secondary to force Carolina to this 4th down. It's the defensive line. Good to see the line come in, and that's just poor offensive coverage from Mr. Lasagna there, the right tackle. Lally gets himself in too easy, and once again, Malone Brown has to come out. The big hunk from the north comes in for his 4th field goal try.
How about this chiding about the kickers trying to mimic Otis Boudreau from Brett Solberg. This is the 4th field goal attempt for Malone Brown. It's up and good. Malone Brown, the lone supplier of points here in the ballgame. It's 12-0. The SFL playoffs are almost here. All the action starts with Wild Card Weekend, Saturday, April 22nd at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Next Level Sports. You can catch all the playoff games Saturdays and Sundays with 6:30 and 9 p.m. kickoffs, culminating in the 20th SFL Championship game on Friday, May 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern with Calvin Irvine, Chris Curtis, Paul Sarp, Mike St. Green, and yours truly, Tyler Falk. Get ready, it's playoff time. Right now, it's Corbin Cup time as Adobe gets the return up to the 23. That's been the average return for Adobe on each of his returns. Out comes Charleston to start another drive. Still have that donut on the score line and nothing to show for it.
Let's recap Charleston one more time. Punt, interception, fumble, turnover on downs, interception. It has been a woeful quarter and a half here for Charleston. Something's got to give.
And they matched the 10-play, 40-yard drive set by Carolina, which ended in points. Handoff middle, trying to sneak his way through that defense was the fullback, Rel Sutherland. He gets tackled by his opposite, number 33, Monte Wyatt.
Yeah, and that was just, doomed from the start there as the offensive line, again, breaks down for Sutherland there. And it just seems like that's been the story, at least in this first half for Charleston. Just nothing going on the ground.
With backfield, they'll try and run again, and getting caught up behind the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing. Nick Hoagland blasting back a few yards.
And DJ Majesty just comes in like a walking condominium, just demolishing that offensive line again. And when Storm was trying to go down the middle, Majesty said, "Nuh-uh, I'm bringing your offensive linemen to tackle you too."
That will give Mr. DJ Majesty a nice honor, which we'll talk about here in just a second. Passing play, deep corner route in, over the arms of the defender.
Watch out!
Still going. Is Davius Reed out of the shoulder tackle? Monte Wyatt brings him down to the 32. Hold up on that all-time stat mark. Davius Reed out here balling.
Hey, and Charleston's been asleep this whole time, and here comes Davius Reed saying, "Wake up! It's feeding time for Mr. Reed here." Excellent catch. Keeps on his feet on that shoelace tackle attempt, and tries to keep shedding a tackle through. It felt like he might have gotten to the house, but unfortunately that one lasting tackle from Monty Wyatt prevents the touchdown. But man, oh man, what a way to flip the field here.
46 yards from Davius Reed. DJ Majesty now 22nd all time passing. Clint Hendershot, pump fake, middle, good deflection by the middle linebacker Stinson.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be about how Charleston is going to respond, from all these attempts Carolina has given them here. This is the deepest that Charleston has been all game so far. They need to show to this Carolina defense that, hey, we can score too.
Check that, not 22nd, 16th all-time for DJ Madison, passing Clint Hendershot in tackles for loss. Johnson looking to throw again, this time near side. That's Adobe picking up 8 yards.
Yeah, and Johnson has been doing really well here so far in this game. And how about this for a fact here? He needed 76 yards to get himself another 3,000-yard campaign. He's at 108 right now. Mark that as just his 4th 3,000-yard campaign and his first ever back-to-back 3,000-yard seasons.
Congratulations, Mr. Johnson. Opposite eye behind him. They're going to look to stretch it out right side. Nothing doing for Saren Storm on the edge of the line. Big old number 90, Mojo McLean, the rookie, again in behind the line today.
And he came probably one of the best linebacker moves that I've seen in this game so far from McLean. He just goes around the offensive line, doesn't get touched, and gets straight to Saren Storm. And there you go, another 4th down here. But this time, they could get some points out of it.
Here comes Brad Bretchen to maybe put a crooked number up there. Low snap, corralled by Lion Trees. And the kick is up and good. There's a 3 on the board for Charleston. They cut it back to a 9-point deficit. So if we're going to see some field goals, if that's all we're going to see, partner, Carolina are already out to a quick advantage. When are one of these teams going to get a touchdown?
And they've been teasing us here in the last couple drives, especially Carolina. 3 red zone visits, and we haven't seen them get a touchdown yet. It's not going to be too much bearable for my wide receiver self here.
On the return, here comes Prasad looking left side out of a couple of would-be tacklers and up to the 27-yard line. Decent return, Mr. Prasad, and out comes the offense to start another drive. We've had a good knack of scoring today, let alone it be field goals.
Yeah, it's been mostly the running game that's been helping out for Carolina here. You just look at Massell's stats here, 7 of 17. His QBR, 25.1. It's been a while since I've seen that number that low.
Start off in the eye here with 3:26 left to go in the half. Handoff up the middle, McBride. She struggles through.
Oh, good night. See you later.
Is loose, but she's got an entourage behind her. Can he catch her?
No,
she will not. I like hike. Touchdown, Skyhawks.
And there is the score we've been waiting for here, and it blows the game wide open, in my opinion. If we continue to see field goals in this game, a touchdown may just, be the big cause for Carolina's victory here. And you can tell through this whole game, McBride has just wanted this the whole time. Runs up the gut, just untouched 10, 15 yards down. This time, with the secondary members being so close to the line of scrimmage, it just gave plenty of opportunity for McBride just to speed her way through. Again, fear the schmear, baby.
Here we go. What a run for McBride. 73 yards. One play, Schmear touchdown, extra point Brown. It's up and good. 19-3 Carolina.
How often have we set a scoreline of 19-3? That's a very unorthodox score, but Carolina finally breaking through here. 16-point lead. Charleston, it's time to wake up again.
They're going to need another score. They got 3 on their last drive. They need 7 to keep pace with McBride and the rest of Carolina. Here's the kickoff from Brown. Adobe back deep in his own end zone. Will try and make a return out of it. Oh, nice little move. Gets out to the right-hand side, and his best return of the ball game gets to the 26-yard line.
And at this point, you've been really struggling with that run game. You just look at the stat line. Saren Storm, -5 yards on 5 carries. Nick Hoagland, -2 yards on 1 carry. Charles Sutherland only got a yard in his lone carry here. I think it's time to forget the run game. You've got an accurate Kentez Johnson so far in the gun right now.
Wide to start off the drive. Play action. Under pressure, pass middle, ball away and incomplete. Good coverage from Shravan Prasad. Brings up second down.
And that's just a terrible read, if I can say so, from Kentez Johnson. That's on double coverage. You weren't going to get a catch from Brian Murphy out of that. You have to look somewhere else in that opportunity. Just seeing as the ball was going up in the air, Prasad had that completely covered, and then you had Lincoln Kingseed, the strong safety, coming in as well as that second guy. There was just no chance that that catch was going to be made.
Second down here for Charleston, down by 16 after McBride's touchdown, already over 100 yards today on the ground. Johnson looking to throw over the middle. Caught. Nice spin move from Davius Reed, picking up extra yards to the 45.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure probably over at the 20-yard line there, I can see Lincoln Kingseed's jock just kind of flying through. That was just a beautiful spin move from Davius Reed, who has been the MVP of this Charleston team so far. With that big catch in their last drive here, gets them a key first down here. They need this out of Davius Reed.
19 yards from Reed as he's getting closer and closer to 100 yards on the day. Handoff middle, Hoagland. Hoagland isn't finding a whole lot of room today as he only is able back to the line of scrimmage as they sent middle linebacker Danny Stinson up to the A-gap and takes him down.
Man, what an underrated defense Carolina has. We don't talk about this Skyhawk defense enough. I should say. We talk about, the Vancouver team who has, a great defensive line, and, you talk about like the Baltimore defensive line. But Carolina needs their shout out too.
And off near side as Storm struggles for 3 yards. Bring up third down after the 2-minute warning. Here from David A. Richardson. It's Carolina 19. Charleston down by 16 with the football. Need a score as they'll kick it off in the second half. You're watching the final regular season, week 14, here on YouTube. Two minutes to go here in the first half. Johnson will look to throw. Stepping up, deep shot, middle.
Oh, no.
For now. And it's another turnover as it stands, picked up by Lincoln Kingseed after the hit. Oh, I can hear you griping and moaning there. Jay Hayden may have not had a football move. This one might be coming back.
I don't even think Hayden had a foot down on the ground before he was bobbled loose there. That is no chance. That's a fumble.
And while it's inside 2 minutes, it's an automatic review by the booth. And so R62 will take a look at it. And meanwhile, Huge congratulations to Phil Hall. Got his 3rd TFL earlier on the drive. That moves him to 6th all time in the standings. And I have to be right there with you, partner. I think this one's coming back.
Yeah, just seeing the replay from that angle, too, it's very clear that Hayden didn't even have a chance to have a football move after the catch. That's an incompletion, and regardless, Carolina's going to take it.
It will go into the favor of Charleston. It will be ruled an incomplete pass, and they will have settle for a punt unless they try something fancy here on 4th down, which I don't think they will, as I see the punting unit on the field, and out comes Eric Blueberry for his 2nd punt of the ballgame.
And he's going to need to punt this really deep here, I think, to prevent Carolina from really opening the floodgates here. So Blueberry, now's your chance to make an impact.
Punting it away. Trying to go straight at the return man Prasad, who does make a return. Good little move, and he will get up to the 23-yard line. So a little bit of plus territory after a punt that ended in his own red zone. That is where Carolina will start this 2-minute drill offense.
Yeah, and here we go. Is Carolina going to decide just to settle things here and just run up the clock with a 16-point lead heading into the locker rooms for halftime? Or do they really want to make Charleston pay here and say, hey, this Baron Corbin Cup is ours?
Their last drive only lasted 16 seconds on the Ike McBride run, which is actually longer than 3 other drives here in the ballgame. Pass, middle, one-handed grab by the tight end Brian Murphy. By the tight end Vince DeSantis. Have it, young fella.
How about the cojones, the machismo, the swagger coming off of Vince DeSantis to say, you know what? I don't need 2 hands. I just got my one right here. I'll catch that in the air, baby. And Carolina definitely threatening here to score again.
Under 1:20 to go now here in the 2nd quarter. A tight end look. They will run with Hanzo up the middle, who breaks out of 1 tackle and gets down at the 47-yard line, only a pickup at 2, and they're going to elect to try and hurry up the offense in this formation.
Give it to McBride here, see what she can do.
Said they go back to Hanzo, and Hanzo will lose those 2 yards. Instead, they'll give them forward progress to the line of scrimmage, and Carolina wisely calls a timeout.
Yeah, you don't want to keep the hurry-up offense on a goal line split-backs formation. You want to get yourself, an ample opportunity maybe to throw this guy deep. It's 3rd and 8 at your own 46. We'll see what happens. I'm feeling that we might see another Matt South pass, who has started to improve his numbers since we, started pointing out that he's only 7-17. He's now, getting himself up there. 8 of 18, I guess, just 1 pass since, but 1 of 1 still works.
Looking to throw, pressure coming, hit from behind and taken down. Good pursuit on the ball carrier by Thomas Matthews. His career best 5.5 sack.
Yeah, and that's something you just really can't be doing. And Matt South not really, being aware enough that on his blind side, the defensive end was really starting to, pressure him. And he goes to his side and doesn't realize that he's on the ground.
Carolina will take as much time off the clock as possible as Sausage Grande back deep to punt it away. But matriculating all the way down to about the 3-second mark, and here is the punt here from Grande. High spiraling one for Odobe to try and field as he makes a spin move, but is corralled at the 30-yard line by Clausen and Shat. Along with so many of you, Clausen with a sack burger after the Matthews hit. Unfortunately for him, hopefully, Guy, you're back home from the hospital after his grandmother taken ill with a medical emergency. Hopefully she's doing okay, buddy. Hopefully you're doing okay too, as Charleston comes to the line here with 11 seconds to go.
And again, I don't think there's much time for them to really make some noise, so don't be surprised if they just run the clock out.
Try a fullback dive to Sutherland, and, well, nothing doing. That'll take us to half. 19-3, Carolina halfway done with their job here to make step 1 possible. So, Brett, take us through that first half as we quickly go into the second.
What else is there to say other than, Charleston, where's your run game? Negative 4 yards of running offense in this first half. Kentez can't do the whole job himself, and it's shown with his 2 interceptions in this game. Carolina has taken complete control after the big Ike McBride touchdown, which she has dominated. Just 5 carries for 122.
Round 14 of the Corbin Cup comes in week 14 of season 20. Here from David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium, I'm Tyler Falk, alongside Brett Solberg here in the booth. Special thanks to Andy Hamilton and Tristan Hatley in stats, and another special thank you to SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine producing our game today. And thank you for joining us here this Sunday evening here in Carolina. So happy to have you along with us here for the final week of the regular season in season 20. Playoffs just over the horizon here in the SFL, as Carolina will start their drive off with a run up the middle. McBride bouncing out of a tackle and getting the first down, finally taken down by Jacob Clear.
Man, it just seems like McBride's just taking this easy right now. It just feels like it's easy for her too, as she just, waltzes her way through again, up the middle. Nobody touched. Say goodnight again to, it looked like to be 48 on there. And I just feel bad for this Charleston defense, as, McBride has really dominated this defense through this game.
Shamir has been everywhere today. 132 yards unofficially here for McBride, as South looks right side. Open is the receiver on that far side. They will pick up about 6 yards to the 41. Be second down.
Yeah, that's Harisha's first catch of the game here. They haven't utilized too much of the passing game, but Matt South has only completed 8 passes before that one. It's been a little bit of a rough going in this first half for Matt South, but again, that running game has been a huge factor into this 19 points.
Pressure coming, quick out route right side for McBride. McBride gets another first down, as some of the fans here in David A. Partner are calling for the backup already, up by 16. Cheesy Pizza, who's had a couple of diva moments while trying to lead a victory earlier on the season. Both quarterbacks here for Carolina have played very well.
You shouldn't be yelling out quite yet. 20 minutes to go still in this game. Anything is possible. 16 points is never a safe lead.
Other screenplay right side here for McBride, and McBride again with another 5+ yard swing pass. This one going for 9.
Yeah, and they're really going to start using McBride a little bit more here, because they're seeing the exploit in Charleston's defense. The run game, and especially any game involving Ike McBride, it's a weak factor right now. So capitalize on that weakness, and look there, you see it here, a heavy set with McBride in the back. There's only one way it could go.
They go to McBride. It's another first down for McBride in Carolina. That swing pass working as intended. First down to the 37.
Yeah, and they're just going to keep feeding McBride the ball, because, why not? She's the main reason for these yards here. You talk about all-purpose, and you're talking close to 180 all-purpose yards already for McBride here. It's just fantastic work from this Carolina offense and getting McBride involved.
3 straight screen passes for McBride, maybe put to rest here for the moment, as it's 1st and 10 with 3 wide. Instead, they will run with McBride. McBride up the middle, gains about 3 before being sandwiched by Kevin Brackett and company.
Yeah, it's gonna be an eventuality that they're not going to give the ball to McBride here, but as long as she continues getting you big yards, you just keep feeding her the ball.
Offset eye with 2 wide receivers. Charleston put 8 men in the box to try and counter the dangerous McBride. As South looking near side. What a grab from Chase Earl. That moves the chains again for Carolina.
And look at the athleticism from Earl as well. Almost jumped clear over Mark Martin, not the race car driver here. Just look at that athleticism. High leaping catch. And just, you don't see that too often from, even though he's, fairly tall for his size, 6'2", he is one of the shorter receivers in this league, so it's still fantastic to see the shorter players leap up high like that.
Charleston coverage has been playing off the wide receivers most of the game, and indeed they're about 8-9 yards away from them. Pass, middle, caught, touchdown, Carolina, Heath McDaniel Jr.
And now every facet of Carolina's offense has been in the end zone now. Run game, check. Passing game, now check. And why not go to your leading receiver in this season in Heath McDaniel Jr.? And that might have just opened the floodgates here. We might be seeing a 23-point lead from the Skyhawks making a statement to themselves to get themselves 1 inch closer to the playoffs.
And the Skyhawks looking for the first time since all the way back in season 11, not only to make the playoffs, but for the first time since then, and their only time in franchise history that they were above 500 is back when they were last in the playoffs. Is the Carolina curse coming to an end, Brett?
It might be. This game has been looking really good, but right now they have to focus on completing this game and then going to their TVs at 9:15 to see if Indy can take the upset against Tulsa.
Owen Brown kicks us off away, 23-point lead here for Carolina. Adobe on the return, looking inside, and Adobe is demolished at the 25-yard line by Kingseed.
He went from Adobe to ow, that hurts all of a sudden. And right now, Carolina, from every facet in this game now, the special teams is starting to hit huge hits on, these other Charleston players here, leaving a mark before the end of this regular season.
There's no love lost between these two teams, despite the records may say. King middle, it is hot! Wow, threading the needle, Kentes Johnson to Davis Reed again!
And in this time, I feel like Carolina, let up a bit here. You'll see the deflection attempt, a little bit of a fleeting effort here. You could have maybe, put a little bit more in there, Monty. Why? You've got 10 picks this season. Why don't you just leap up a little bit higher? But nonetheless, Davis Reed, like I said, he has been the MVP to this Charleston team so far.
21.4 yards per reception for Reed today. What a stat line. Look near side now. That one is bobbled away. That one's a little bit better coverage from Hatley.
Yeah, and we've said this throughout this game here. Kentes Johnson, despite his, good accuracy so far at around 65%, a couple of these passes have been really questionable from him in this game, like that one there. Completely blanketed on the out route. He decides to throw it, and Hatley almost gets himself an interception.
A wide here for Charleston. Here on 2nd and 10. They're on 46. Carolina sent 4, pass middle. That one is caught and taken down quickly. At midfield is Reed.
Yeah, and it looks like if you're really looking to get yourself some yards here, there's really only one option. It's going to be passing this football. I think after, seeing Saren Storm and Nick Hoagland both struggling on the ground here, you really don't have a choice anymore. This might be, 100% pass plays through the rest of this game here for Charleston.
4th play of the drive. They've only targeted Reed on this drive as Kent is hit as he throws deep. It is incomplete. It looked like the defender had it, but it just bobbles out of his hands. And that'll bring up 4th down.
And I think that was Monte Wyatt again, this time redeeming himself after a very fleeting attempt at a pass deflection that led to a Davis Reed completion. This time he goes and outstretches his whole body to get himself so close to interception. It was holding on to his wrists, but it falls to the ground.
It's away from Blueberry as fair catch is called for by Prasad at his own 13-yard line, and he hauls that in without any trouble. Hey, don't leave the broadcast. There we go. Hey, liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation for your viewership. That's right side. That's a good catch, and that's a good first down. 22-yard pass from Matt South.
Yeah, and South didn't really have to guess. He didn't have to really second guess himself on that at all. You see the drop back right away. He saw DeSantis wide open on that outward slant and just said, you know what? Feed that boy the ball. And DeSantis, now just quietly having a great game himself here. 66 yards on 4 receptions.
It's another reception over 20 yards there for DeSantis. They'll go with the run for McBride. McBride taken down by her belt after a gain of 1. Gina McFly and on the stop.
And really, this has been the first time in a long time that Charleston has been able to prevent Ike McBride from getting more than 3 yards on a run here. So maybe Charleston's starting to wake up a bit here defensively. But here we are, another heavy set formation. We got ourselves an eye with McBride at the back.
We'll run with McBride through the middle, and for one of the few times today, it's pretty well bottled up. Little to no blocking there for McBride as Jack Brown, one of the all-time greats in tackles, comes up with the stop.
Yeah, and this time again, Charleston brings about 7 in the box this time, and basically tells Carolina, hey, if you're going to feed the ball to Ike, we've got our guys covered here.
Now with the throw on third down. Blitz coming, he throws a pick. The pressure, no in doubt. Forced a bad pass. Kevin Brackett is the opportune man there. And now Charleston, for the first time today, will start in Carolina's side of the field.
That Iceman definitely doesn't have ice hands as he keeps it in his breadbasket after collecting it in the air. And that is what Charleston needs here to maybe turn this momentum around. 23 points isn't an impossible comeback out of this. We have seen bigger comebacks before. Go back to Canton with that 30-point lead slowly diminishing. Now we're going to see Charleston in action here after interception.
Start with a screenplay near side here for Storm, and nothing doing. Down goes Storm, taken down by Lincoln Kingseed, and that's something that was working for Charleston last week against Arizona. Carolina, in no doubt, have game plan for that specifically.
Yeah, you got to give credit to the defensive coordinator from Carolina here, Harish Prasad, as he just continues to, be just a great defensive presence for this team.
Little in route, again connecting with Reed. That moves him 5 yards closer to the end zone. That'll stop him at the 36.
And what really Charleston needs to do here is, I think they need to go, guns blazing here. And, I would say, I don't care if this might lead to interception here, but you got to throw it deep to either Hayden or Reed at this point. Make a statement in this third quarter.
3rd and 5. Looking to throw near side, caught on the sideline. It is hauled in. It is completed, but it's about half a yard shy for Jay Hayden. That looked like a bang-bang play.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. That one's going to be close nonetheless here. It looks like they gave him a bad spot personally, but it's so tough to say. It's going to be 4th and inches. I think Charleston has no other choice. They've got the offense out again for 4th.
It went on 4th down early on in the first half, and it failed in this similar and almost exact formation. Will they try it again here in the third quarter?
I don't think so.
Prentice Johnson this time calls a timeout. And now 36-yard line on the precipice of field goal range, but you might not be there. Check that 31-yard line, definitely in field goal range.
Yeah, it's really tough here for Charleston because in the back of their minds, in the back mind of head coach Jay Hayden, he wants to go for it, but it's still the 31-yard line, and even if he can't make it, Carolina has just been so hot offensively that it could lead to another score here. So just settle for the 3. Brechet has kicked so many field goals from this area. This should be another 3 points here for the Predators.
48-yard attempt for Brechet to go 23 of 26 on the season. The kick is up, and it is through the uprights, and good. It's now a 20-point ball game, 26-6 in favor of the home team, Carolina Skyhawks. The unveiling of the wild card matchups and playoff schedule will happen during the postgame of Impact Monday's Fort Worth, Mexico City contest Monday night. See when you're playing, who you're playing, and who will be calling your game alongside Chris Curtis and myself, Tyler Falk, who will give their first reactions to this season's bracket. Don't miss out if you're still in. Prasad of the return, looking right side, taken down at the 24-yard line, and out comes Matt South. Rest of Carolina to start another drive. Sioux Falls having their way with Minnesota, 27-3. About midway through in that fourth quarter, it looks like Minnesota's best chance at the playoffs now looks to be at a 4 seed instead of the for sure 3 seed.
Yeah, and there could be a possibility that they could have the 5 seed as well. And I don't think they want to be in a wild card game.
Handoff up the middle, McBride, and we'll see plenty more of this as we continue on. If the score line stays as it is, up by 20, McBride gains 4.
Yeah, and it's a tough situation, for this Charleston team. They've been trying so hard to keep Carolina at bay, but Ike McBride has just been a menace to their society here so far in this game.
Backfield handoff, Hanzo. Haven't seen Hattori in quite some time, but his first carry here in the half goes nowhere. And Jack Brown, who has slowly woken up here at little linebacker spot here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Tyler. We're so used to seeing Jack Brown, at this point of the game, be at double the tackles that he's usually at. It's surprising only to see him with 4 solo.
Too wide here on third down. They will run up the middle. McBride out of 1, but cannot get out of the ankle tackle. A yard behind the line as down she goes. John Stamango brings her down, and that is exactly what Charleston need with only down by 20 points.
Hey, something crazy here for your stat friends. This is only the second time in this game that Carolina has been forced to punt this football. They've had a hell of a time, in this game. But Charleston's starting to wake up defensively, and that's good to see.
Because on his way, here comes Adobe up the middle. Got a couple of good blocks. He's down at the 45-yard line. That's where Charleston will take over, down by 20, 26-6 your score line. As out comes Kentez Johnson and the rest of the Charleston offense.
Yeah, and right now it has to be cool, calm, and collected for Kentez. He's been erratic, especially, in this, I would say in this last, 15 minutes or so of this game. He needs to settle down.
Second best starting field position of the ball game here for Charleston as they're quickly across midfield, picking up 8 yards. Another Davis Reed in route, which has been a bright spot for Charleston today, both on that route and both the player playing very well today.
Yeah, just overall, Davis Reed has been the saving grace for this game so far. Now up to close, almost $125 in this game.
And up goes the fullback, and Sutherland can't go anywhere. Huddled up at the line of scrimmage by Christopher Colon and Mojo McLean.
And that has just been the story of this game. And again, it's Carolina just giving no chance whatsoever for Charleston to get off the ground at all. Any chance you've got, you're going to go behind the line.
Third and short. Linebackers showing blitz. Here they come. Pass left side. No Storm. Can he get to the corner? No, he can't. That's only a yard. Still a yard shy of the sticks. Chevron Prasad takes him down. And it's 4th and short again here for Charleston.
Yeah, and that seemed like a picture-perfect defensive play from Carolina. They had 2 approaching defenders, along with a third almost deflecting that football as well from Saren Storm. So that was just a play doomed to fail. They were lucky to get a yard out of it personally.
So unlike last drive where they try to go for it, they will punt it away, and that punt's nearly blocked. As Harish decides to let this one bounce at the goal line, will bound into the end zone, down for a touchback. The ball will start on the 20 with 20 seconds left to go in the third.
Yeah, and right now, Carolina could really make them suffer here if they really just want to keep feeding that ball like McBride. It's so surprising that McBride has only had 11 touches on the ground so far, but she has been so dominant in this game.
They'll come out here in a heavy set. Split backfield behind South. 10 men in the box here for Charleston. Handoff goes to Hanzo, and Hanzo picks up 6. That might be the final play of the third quarter.
Yeah, and it might be. And, Jay Ballmer in the chat really pulls up a great question here. Is this the Charleston team that really beat Arizona? Did they use all their energy on Arizona and then forgot about Carolina here?
We'll have 11 minutes, a 20-point deficit to try and hamper Carolinian spirits. Fourth quarter here from David A. Richardson. When we come back, this is the SFL on YouTube. Over to Chris Curtis to tell you what our rights are. We'll stay here. We'll get Curtis here in just a moment. Fourth quarter set to go here in Raleigh, North Carolina. It'll start with a swing pass near side for McBride. McBride bursts down. Bulldozes over another. She's still marching down the sideline to the Carolina 47.
No mercy in that woman's soul. Ike McBride is saying to herself, I want to have a marquee standout game this season, and this might be the one here to cripple Charleston entirely defensively. We haven't seen this kind of performance, you and I, Tyler, in a long time. It has been a one-sided running performance from Ike McBride.
Simpson has eat my shorts. Ike McBride might as well have eat my shoulder pads as the pass left side continues the drive down the field. It is caught by Chase Earl. Second straight first down conversion for Carolina.
And again, that just seems way too easy after the catch. You'd think Chase Earl would go out of bounds, maybe just, even a push-off from the Charleston defenders, and they just kind of run right beside him for a little bit before they start, like way past the first down marker. And again, Carolina just getting what they want right now.
Too wide, 2 men in the backfield. We'll go up the middle in the eye. McBride actually is going to lose a yard as the defense starting to keep up a little bit. Geno McFly. Wow, take a look at this. Geno McFly, partner, has had some game. He has gotten yet another TFL at his second.
Yeah, that's what they need. That's what they need, this Charleston team, is just continue getting these TFLs.
Now, middle McBride, that's better from Carolina. That picks up about 8, up to the Charleston 36-yard line. Third and short on its way.
It's kind of crazy, seeing these stat lines here. Charleston with only 6 tackles for loss, and you look at Carolina's side, they've got 11, and 4 of them coming from Phil Hall himself. It's just crazy stat lines so far from both these defenses.
There were 9 men in the box, but the free safety backed out of it. On third and short, they'll go up the middle. McBride bulldozing one, fighting off the last remaining defender. Mark Martin holding strong. And oh no, Geno McFly, the man who we were talking about earlier, the rookie, is down and out.
Yeah, commentator's curse, Tyler. Never mention Geno Fly's name again. Unbelievable stuff from Tyler Falk here, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, yeah, that just seems to be one of those unfortunate things. Good blocking from the offensive line, but there's just a huge swarm down the middle as he was falling. That could be any kind of injury. We're not sure. We won't know until we see the injury report.
An update from that blue tent shortly. As the drive continues here for Carolina. 2 tight ends left, 1 wide receiver out, Ryan White, and the fullback. Anzo gets the call at the middle, gains 3 to the Charleston 21-yard line. We want to remind you that 8 p.m. Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. 8 p.m. Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. Explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit 8pmmusic.com. Second and 7 here for Carolina. South going to throw left-hand side. That is caught, turning out of bounds after a pickup of 4 is receiver up to the 17-yard line. That is Prasad with another grab.
Yeah, and you've seen it throughout this game here. Carolina's utilized that, that trips wide receiver style quite a bit in this game, and it really works out to their benefit. One of those receivers usually gets open. It's always that out route because Charleston is very privy on those deep passes.
3rd and 3. Looking to throw left side. A little flex out route works. And Carolina again convert on 3rd down. It's 1st and goal at the 9.
And DeSantis, we keep saying his name here. He has been a very quiet leader for this Carolina receiving core. He's now close to 75 yards on just 5 receptions. And don't look now, Carolina might make this, 32 points in this game for them.
Good drop. They hit the same play again, turning upfield. DeSantis out of bounds at the 6. Only a 3-yard pickup. Check that, Xavier Solomon on back-to-back grabs.
Yeah, that's great for Solomon there, as he gets himself involved a little bit here, and why not? Because Carolina has been red hot from all cylinders of the offense. Get your players more involved here. I wouldn't be too surprised if they, give Heath McDaniel Jr. another look. He's only got 1 reception here.
43 left to go. Hand off McBride through the middle. Just the end zone to beat. Can't get past. Number 22, Mark Martin into pay dirt.
Yeah, and Martin has been the guy to be, that red zone gatekeeper throughout this game. And he was the lone guy left that McBride had to demolish before getting to the end zone. And Martin said, not in this wheelhouse, baby.
The goal, they go to the fullback. Hanzo, nothing doing. Jack Brown busted through the offensive line like a bat out of hell. They'll lose about half a yard, and it's 4th goal.
Yeah, and as much as Carolina has played well offensively, you have to think to yourself, 2 for 6 on touchdowns in red zone scenarios ain't going to cut it if they get to the playoffs. They need to improve on this marker against arguably better defenses coming up.
Kick is up. It is good. Back out to a 23-point lead here for Carolina. 29-6 after Malone Brown hits yet another field goal. Don't leave the broadcast without joining our Discord server. There's so much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Join to check out content for teams and about the league created by the community, participate in pick'em games, play SFL fantasy football, and try to test your skills against Jack Wall, the Survivor Pool winner of $2,500 or thereabouts. Join our server, visit simulationfl.net, and click on the Discord icon on the top banner. The SFL community 2,000 strong. We'll see you there.
A little spoiler alert for the winner of the Survivor Pool there. It's actually going to be wire transferred into my account so that I can come to Cincinnati, but don't worry about that at all.
There we go, partner. Oh, I cannot wait to see at the convention if everything goes our way. 1st and 10 here, though, in Raleigh. Charleston down by 23. We'll start with a handoff near side for Storm. This is more like it from Saren Storm. First time he's gotten 3 on the ground in quite some time. That picks up 9.5.
And here's what we haven't seen a lot from Charleston in this game, a stretch run to the outside. And I've been talking to Charleston all season about this. I keep telling them, use the stretch run more. You don't have to go up the gut all the time. And look what happens, 9.5 yards.
Short yardage situation. Go with the run up the middle. Storm first down. Running game finally finding its wheels late on in the final game of the regular season.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do here. They need to find, at least a bright spot to this running game, and back-to-back plays, feeding it to Saren Storm, seeing what he can give you. And you know what? I would say a good 15 yards out of Saren Storm.
Again, this time he's clobbered in the backfield. Lucky enough to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And Danny Stinson just demolishes that open hole in the offensive line that was given by Charleston to get Storm forward. And there was that huge wall, that big black and red wall of Danny Stinson coming in saying, "Nuh-uh, you ain't getting any more yards, son."
Looking for a quick pass over the middle. That finds Avius Reed. Again, playing extremely well today. More receptions than anyone else on the football field.
Yeah, and that's been the guy that has been open the most really in this game. You look at, Honest Adobe, he's got, 50%, target rate. Jay Hayden and Brian Murphy both at a third here, but 9 out of 10 targets have been caught from Davies Reed.
Start marching the field a little bit quicker. Slants play, instead of they'll dump it off right side. I think that's Hoagland out there. That picks up 6. Hoagland gets to the 44 as back to the line. Quickly comes Charleston.
We got 3 receivers and a tight end. This is a good idea to hurry it up.
4-man rush. Throw again, this time near side. Is trying to get out of the field. Is Jay Hayden. He will with a first down reception. About 4 yards to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and Charleston just needs to find plays that are going to get this offense moving forward here. It's been a rough going, at least for the last 2 quarters, I would say, for them. And they just really need to rely on, those plays that they know they can get yards from. And look at this. They got themselves an empty gun 4-receiver set.
Just inside Carolina 40. Johnson dumps it off over the middle as the tight end tries to make something happen. Brian Murphy is only able to pick up 5 after he finally turns around. He's up 2nd and 5 from the 34. Just over 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Back to pass again is Johnson from the near side, Jay Hayden. That gets up to the 24-yard line. First down, Predators.
Yeah, you can see that this just having 4 receivers and the 5th receiver at the tight end just working for them right now.
Johnson, corner round, caught at the 6-yard line. What a throw! What a catch, Davius Reed! First and goal, Charleston.
That has been him all game, all him.
Flat play, middle, caught Jay Hayden! Touchdown for Jay Hayden after announcing in team content this may be his final game here in Charleston. He gets a touchdown on his way out the door.
Yeah, and there is a light at the end of this tunnel here at Charleston. This might not have been, the most perfect game played on both ends of the field, but at least you could see yourself, getting a touchdown out of this, getting an offensive touchdown, just relying on that hurry-up offense, and it was the 5 receivers. Carolina wasn't ready for 5 receivers to defend, and there were so many targets thrown and to different receivers, and it ends up with a Jay Hayden touchdown.
Is on its way from Wretched is up and good. So that adds a wrinkle here to Carolina's plans. Only now up by, if I can do math in my head.
16.
16. Thank you, partner. 16 points separate the 2 clubs. They're going to need onside kicks and a couple of point conversions. Here's the first onside kick. It is bobbled.
Watch out.
Being battled around, and Charleston recovered.
All right.
How about that? Jacob clear on the loose ball, and Charleston at their own 46-yard line.
There's step 1. Now step 2 is to repeat that performance again. And why not use the same formation that you used before? Get your 4 receivers out there, get Brian Murphy ready as a 5th option, and have Saren Storm or Nick Hoagland be that blocking guy.
Starters are still on the field here for Carolina. 1st and 10 on the 46-yard line. 3:45 left to go in regulation. Johnson looking right side. There's Jay Hayden that picks up about 4 to midfield.
Yeah, you can tell Carolina, they're backing up a little bit because they don't want Charleston to get a quick score. So Charleston decides to go short here. Go to Jay Hayden on a quick 4-yard out route. 2nd down and medium coming up.
2nd and 6 from Colorado State, 50 yards.
Carolina's defense had Charleston 6 points up until just a few moments ago. Johnson going to look to throw again. 4-man rush, pass middle. Adobe's there. That's another first down here for Charleston. And they're going to have to continue in this hurry up. Already have used 1 timeout earlier on a 4th down fiasco. Try and look for another play here. Pass middle into coverage. Take it away! Just what the doctor ordered. And they're leading from the front. Trevon Prasad with the biggest takeaway in Carolina's history.
And that will stop the gates for Charleston here, I think. With 3.5 left to go, that might have just been the final nail in the coffin. Carolina maybe, just maybe, inches themselves closer to a playoff spot. And again, we're going to look to 9:15 Indy at home against Tulsa coming up. We just got 3.5 left to go here, though.
10th time he has caught a ball in his career. As they go up the middle here with McBride, nothing doing, loss of 1 as the clock will begin to run. Well, we'll see a lot more running plays here from Carolina. It's tradition here at the last week of the regular season that we as broadcasters would like to thank some people. And I'll start off before that saying McFly is back on the field, just a bruise that he picked up on the last play. But some people we want to thank here in the booth, especially want to thank SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine for continuing this amazing league and connecting individuals with one another in the only way that the SFL can, as pass near side as Copper McBride on the swing pass, turning out the field and getting short of the first down marker. Also want to thank Mike Daggs. Want to thank Chris Curtis, the broadcast and assistant broadcast director here in the SFL. I want to thank Rochelle Colston. I want to thank Stephen Hacker, the stats and game day operations managers here in the SFL. Today, I want to thank Andy Hamilton, Tristan Hatley, and stats, and everyone else who has done stats for all of us here today. Could not make this league run without you. And special thanks to you, partner, Brett, for being with me through another season of ups and downs and great calls, great players. We've got a few more people to thank after this 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. Does Carolina complete step 1 and get to the playoffs in season 11? 2 minutes to find out. Come back over to Chris Curtis for our rights. I've now teased that twice. We will not see Chris Curtis give our rights here. Just know you can't copy anything without the express written consent of the league office. Pass left side. That's McBride. That's a first down. Charleston not call a timeout after she goes out of bounds. Clock stops with 1:55. A few more people left to go, Brett. I know I've been talking a whole bunch, but I just wanted to say I am humbled. This past week was awarded the Matt Wilson Broadcaster of the Season. You won the initial version, the initial award, and I cannot do it without the likes of you, Brett, everyone else who I've called a game with, and of course, everyone in the SFL that supports this league, supports us as broadcasters. So thank you to everyone here. Brett, what a fantastic season 21 for the history books.
Yeah, it's been quite the season here, as you know. The SFL HQ has been trying to, transition out of the APF 2K8 era here. We've still got a few games left to go in these playoffs here coming up, and going into a new game here, it's going to be exciting. And there's a lot of people that I do want to thank here as well, as Charleston takes their last time out. So I can start thanking people, and I can give you a rest with your voice here. But I do want to thank also Cameron Irvine. He's been a great help with me this season. I want to thank you, Tyler, for building me up. Turn the curtain back a little bit here. I was fired from my job back in February, and I was probably hitting the lowest of lows that I had over the last couple of years, as Carolina will get into this 4th and 9 situation here. Being without a job for 3 weeks or so, I was in a different mood. But guys like Cam, yourself, Andy Hamilton, guys like Josh Zirkle, who really came in the clutch for me over the last week and a half, 2 weeks here. He helped me out of a situation as well. So I want to thank Josh Zirkle as well, coming in, and everyone in the broadcast team. There's so many people to thank on that one who have helped me throughout these years. And another congratulations for you, Tyler, in getting a Matt Wilson Broadcast Award. You've probably deserved it every season that you've been here, and it's finally great to see you get that recognition here this season.
Thank you, Brett. And I told you privately, but I honestly cannot do what I do here in the booth without fantastic analysts, and I have had the privilege and honor of working with you these past few seasons, and I hope we can continue our partnership for many, many more to come. As Jay Hayden gets the reception for 7 yards, we tick under a minute to go in Charleston's regular season and Carolina's regular season, who have done their bit, Brett, and we have done our bit together. My final call on play-by-play this season will not be calling a play-by-play game. I'll be calling a game with I'll be calling a analyst spot later in the postseason. You, my friend, have another awesome person to work with during the playoffs, as Johnson has hit as he threw. And these folks here at home will find out who we're calling, when we're calling, all coming up tomorrow on Impact Monday. And Brett, it's been an honor, privilege once again, to reiterate, to work alongside you again this season.
Yeah, and it's you know what? Once we get into that convention come July, I hope that we're calling a game together, and that's going to be fun when we're right beside each other calling a game.
We jab at each other, poke at each other's sides, and say, did we really just see that? As a nice little run from Adobe. Really, Adobe and Reed, partner, have been the bright spots for Charleston's offense today in the passing attack. Something they look to continue and move forward with when they go into season 21.
Yeah, and this season, Jacob Clear knew it was going to be a little bit tough. They lost their main running back, a few seasons ago, and they're trying to build Sandstorm up from a wide receiver to a running back role, and it really did affect their performance this season. Unfortunately, they had one of the worst run games that the SFL has seen, but has slowly improved, and they will get better as next season turns around for them.
Pass deep near side. It's bobbled incomplete. It looked like Jay Hayden had it. The hit jars the ball free. Brings up 2nd and 10 for Charleston. For Carolina, partner, they will move above 500. The first time since they were last in the playoffs. Season 11. It's been 4.5 years. Step 1, 47 seconds away from completion. Away from doing their part. Doing their job. They're at home. Pass near side. Hayden having to try and work around. Cannot get out of the tackle of Wallace Luigi. He's up 3rd and short from their own 37-yard line. Johnson will look again to throw. Under pressure. Throws middle. That's caught. First down to the 39-yard line of Carolina. That's the tight end, Brian Murphy. No timeouts. 25 seconds to go. Johnson will spike it with 22 to go.
Yeah, and it's been a campaign here for Carolina. A lot of highs and lows this season. Looking back to just from weeks 9 through 11, tough losses against Las Vegas, Arizona, and San Diego really had them on the ropes. But they've done well to overcome that. Have a huge win against Baltimore, followed up with a grand defensive performance against Denver, and then having the performance that they had here tonight against Charleston, really sealing the deal for them. But they're one step away from the playoffs. They just have to hope that Indianapolis at home can surprise Tulsa and have a bunch of 7-5 teams in the wild card game here.
That's right side intended for Reed. Excellent coverage there on the play. Forces an incomplete pass. Brings up 3rd and 10. With 17 ticks remaining on the regular season here for these two clubs. David Richardson getting loud. Pass right side. It is caught. Turning upfield is Reed. And Reed gets the first down before being shoved out of bounds. 12 seconds to go.
Yeah, and there is no quit with Charleston. It really doesn't matter for them. They know they have 12 seconds until their season is done. So why not just push all of their might left, all the energy that they have left to get a few more points on this board and make the score line a little bit more respectable.
Well, they'll try a Hail Mary. Down by 16. They want to go out on a high. They want to go out with a touchdown. Johnson. Middle, bobble, picked up. That's the ball game. Carolina pull it in. Ibariaman Eglin with interception number 2 of his rookie campaign. That puts the dagger in Charleston. The Corbin Cup will remain in Carolinian hands. And step 1 is finally complete for Carolina. They go to 7-5 for the second time in franchise history. And they're 50% the way through from clinching a playoff spot for the first time in 9 seasons. 4.5 years. All the pain, all the misery might be coming to an end. It's a 16-point victory for Carolina. They now wait for Indy tonight and hold out hope for Ramblers.
An all-around complete performance from Carolina, close to over 400 yards of total offense as we see here. They forced Charleston into 5 turnovers in this game, along with that exclamation mark from Ibari. I can never say his name right. Ibari Amin Eaglin. There we go. Said it right. There we go. But it's just an all-around complete performance. It started with just a fantastic run game from Ike McBride, 144 first half rushing yards coming in, and then they trusted in Matt South. After going 7 of 17 to start things off, he stayed over 85% completion percentage the rest of the way. That is what you want to see out of your quarterback heading into potentially your first playoff berth since season 11. They want to continue this momentum forward, and now I would love to be a fly in the wall of the Carolina locker room as they see Indy and Tulsa play later on. That's going to be at 9:15 tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and that's going to be a fantastic call from, I would say, two of the best, I would say, Cameron and Paul coming in with the Sunday night delight coming in.
Ravon Prasad leading from the front, the co-owner with the interception, says, good game, Charleston. All love for everyone from Carolina. So, partner, one final time from both of us, your player of the game and why.
Is there any other person that we give it to other than the leader of the Schmear gang, and that's Ike McBride? Complete dominance throughout this game. She could do whatever she wanted in this, and the results show over 200 all-purpose yards from Ike McBride. There is no other choice.
I like Ike. Brett likes Ike. Carolina likes Ike. Do the pundits like Ike? Drum roll, please. Yes, they do. Over 200 all-purpose yards, 160 rushing, 81 receiving, 1 touchdown. That long 73-yarder way back in the first half. For everyone here, for Andy Hamilton, Tristan Hatley, for Cameron Irvine and my partner, Brett Solberg, I've been Tyler Falk signing off here this regular season. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you for the playoffs. One final time, Brett. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Bidoo.